and welcome to the Stash Down Diaries. My name is Jen, and this is my YouTube channel where I talk all about my knitting projects with a focus on reducing my stash. So today is February 4th. I am coming to you from beautiful Cape Breton Island in Atlantic Canada, where it is snowmageddon outside. So I dug myself out a little bit yesterday, but then it's a futile effort. I did enough to get Piper outside. The way the snow is drifting, she can get outside though, so it's fine. She doesn't like it much out there. She is a born and raised Texas dog, so this amount of snow, she generally doesn't mind the snow, but this is a lot. This is like record-breaking snow. I'm really happy for the snowmobilers and the skiers, but it's fine. We've had really easy winters the last few years, so this is it. We were due. So anyway, I am hunkered down in knitting for the time being, and I have a few things to show you this week, so I will get into it. We'll start with acquisitions. There are none, as usual. So today I am wearing my boxy sweater by Hoki Locatelli. I knit this at a Zen Yarn Garden, and I am wearing it in their honor because they have announced that they are closing up shop, which is sad because this is one of my favorite yarns that I've knit with. Really love this fingering weight. Really love their dyes. Maybe I'll wear one of my shawls next week. But anyway, yeah, so if you're interested, they do have a 50% off sale. My initial reaction was, oh my god, I gotta go buy some and get some yarn, but I talked myself down out of that because I have been through 2 shop closing, local yarn shops closing in my time as a knitter, and I still have yarns from those sales. So I'm just like accumulating it and not knitting it fast enough. So yeah, I'll let other people enjoy the sale, and I need to work on what I have. And the other thing too is that though it's sad that they are closing, there are some great other indie dyers out there that I'd love to try. Let me know in the comments who your favorite indie dyers are. If there are some that are lesser known, I will mention Windswept Fibers in Newfoundland, Sweet Skein of mine out of New Brunswick. Here in Nova Scotia we have Natural You Yarns and Woolen Wanderlust. And who's this one right here that I need to cast on? Something, I've been super picky with it though. Yeah, that's Woolen Wanderlust. But yeah, there's a ton. Timber Yarns, they have great self-striping. So yeah, let me know what ones you really like. What is next? Since it's February 4th and my first video of February, I have a stash down update. So I didn't get a whole lot done. Well, it's like, yeah, it feels like I didn't, but there was a lot of knitting on that muscle burrow, so, and it just doesn't weigh that much when it's done. So anyway, so I did the muscle burrow, I did 2 scrappy things, I did the like sections of 2 scrappy sections of blankets, and then I did the kitchen mat and the seed pod socks. And I realized after all this, like just today when I was doing my notes for the video, that I did not put in the weights of my teeny socks, which you'll see later on. I guess they're an FO for this. No? Did I talk about them last week? Yes, I did. I talked about them last week with my my Christmas scrappy stuff. So yeah, I forgot to weigh those and put them in. So I think what I'll do is I'll just weigh them with the ones I finished this month, because I have to do some each month or else I won't have enough to do my advent calendar. So anyway, so with all that, with no acquisitions for the month and 284 grams out, I am at negative 284 grams so far for the year. So next month I kind of expect it to be a bit higher because I'll be finishing my love note, and that already has like it's over 100 grams just of the fingering, and then I think I used 2 balls of the mohair, so I think, yeah, we're over 200 grams we should be. So yeah, this month should be higher. But anyway, yeah, onward and upward. So that is my stash down update for the end of January. And I have a finished object today, so it's part of my saltwater stash down. They are the Mug Up fingerless mitts. The ends are woven in and they have been blocked. They're still a little bit damp, so I have to put them back on the heater. It's amazing how fast those cast iron heaters dry mittens. I remember at my grandmother's house, which was built around the same time as my house, so like in the 40s, and it has the same like heating system. We would put our mittens on the heater, and by the time it was time to go back home, like they'd be completely dry. And that is just, I just put these on this morning and they're almost completely dry. I just feel a tiny little bit of dampness. But anyway, Mug Up fingerless mittens from the Saltwater Mittens book by Christine LeGros and Shirley A. Scott, also known as Cheryl the Pearl. There's a great Facebook group of saltwater mittens knitters, and like anything like kind of related to like that looks in the same vein as saltwater mittens. Some people have created new charts with like paw prints and different things, lighthouses I think I've seen, and they share those, like the charts. So if you're not in that group and you are knitting saltwater mittens or any of the books, it's a great group. Very inspirational with color choices and everything. So I wanted to show the picture from this because it just... So if you don't know what Mug Up is, this is a Mug Up. When you're out in the woods and you do a cook up. When I lived in Newfoundland, I was there for school and we had field work. And this is what we would do in the woods in the wintertime while we were doing field work. And so we had the toutons and we had the beans. And we often had moose sausage, as someone always had a can of Vienna sausage that they were chowing down on. And these are some of like my favorite memories of living in Newfoundland. So yeah, I just get so much joy whenever I see that picture. So that is what the mittens are named after. I knit these out of Briggs & Little Heritage in the plum, which is the darker color, and Fundy Fog, which is the lighter colorways. Now, I've previously mentioned when I talk about Saltwater Stash Down that I'm not knitting anything from the books that I don't enjoy knitting. And as I went to go ahead and clip the next pattern in the book, and I noticed that it's gloves. And no. So my first thought when I was planning this thing was that I would just skip over to the next pattern. And I am going to skip the gloves, but instead of skipping over to the next pattern, I'm going to go back to the Mug Up trigger mitts. Was I calling them fingerless mitts the whole time? They're Mug Up trigger mitts because they have that extra finger. This one. Anyway, so yeah, I think I'm going to do that every time I encounter like gloves or something with baubles that I just don't want to knit. I will go back into another pattern. So then all of the first patterns in the book will be in the same round. The second patterns in each book will be in the same round, and so on and so forth. So that's the plan, because I was going to knit a second pair of Mug Up trigger mitts, but I didn't want to knit them right away after knitting those because you know what it's like, your attention span with projects. Sometimes you don't want to knit the same thing twice in a row. So I will finish round 2. So I have to do the classics, the second pattern in classics, gifts, and socks. And then I will, when I'm going into round 3, I will just do Mug Up again. So that's how I'm going to handle that. Anyway, so that's my only finished object for the week. And for whips this week, I have been working on my love note for my year of garment knitting. I got kind of hooked on the chair there. So last week I had shown you that I had finished the body, and now I am on the sleeve. So yeah, I'm going to knit it to pattern. I'm going to knit it 12 inches. And then there's a decrease round, and then you switch to the smaller needles and just do a little bit of, I think it's like 1/2 inch of ribbing. And then, yeah, I'll have to do the other sleeve. But anyway, so this is knit with Lizzie Ann yarns in the Toasted Marshmallow colorway, held with Tin Silk Mohair. in the almond colorway. And yeah, not much else to say about that. I'm still using the Tin Can Knits app to knit it. And apparently they've added their antler patterns to it. So they mention in their newsletters whenever they add a new pattern to it. So yeah, so I've just been following them with that, and also in their Instagram, they'll say it too. It's a really handy app. And like I said before, the only thing that I don't like about it is that there's no highlighter bar for the charts like there is in Knit Companion, but anyway, it's a small thing that's missing. Not too concerned about it, but yeah, so this will be cute to wear over dresses. I've been like looking online at, I don't think I have anything that'll go with this color right now, so I'm looking online. Like a denim dress would be cute, or like a chocolate brown. So anyway, working on that, and I'm hoping to have this done, if not this week, then next week, because I want to cast on the next sweater. So anyway, it's living in this, one of my favorite bags. Anyway, so next I have my altitude sock. So last week I had this one finished, and now on the second sock I am down to the heel turn. So that is the whole leg right there, and this is a knit out of Smash Knits. I can't remember the name of the sock base, but the colors are Amarantine and 36. I love this 36 colorway. It's so pretty. I knit my seed pod socks out of that, if you haven't seen those from a previous video. I kind of did like a reversal thing with the 2 pairs of socks. And yeah, I'm keeping the seed pods for myself, and these ones are going to be a gift. They are by Curious Handmade. She does the Handmade Sock Society, her yearly club. She usually does it every year, but I think she skipped a year to take a break. And I always sign up for it because I just love her sock patterns. It's living in my So Sandy So bag. So speaking of sock clubs, Anne of 3am Knitter is releasing a sock club that is like Atlantic Canadian themed. She's releasing it, I think, at the end of this month or the beginning of next month, and I can't wait. She's going to do 4 patterns released at different points in the year. So I'll put the link in my description to her video where she talks about it. She actually just released a video, I think it was this morning it came out, and I already watched it. And yeah, so she talks about that there, and she also talks about how she is knitting a sock each month, and she's using stash and using patterns that she already has, which is kind of the thing that I'm trying to do here too. And she has hashtags for it. I can't think of the hashtags now. She mentions them in the video, but I'm gonna have to start using those hashtags and looking them up to see what everybody's knitting. So yeah, check out Anne of the 3am Knitter, link below. And yeah, lots of good socky stuff going on there. Anyway, yeah. So socks, and then also for Curious Handmade, I cast on the Trifle Wrap, and this kind of got a little addictive, I'm not gonna lie. So just this week, this is how much I've knitted on it. And I managed to use up like a few balls of scrap yarn, including the mohair. So it's mohair held with fingering. And this was one of Helen Stewart's patterns from Knit Fent this past December, November, December. And she always does the one that goes with people's knitting advents that they buy, all the little mini skeins. And I'm using scrap yarn. And this one's going to be very scrappy. There's going to be some stripes that are a lot narrower than others and stuff. Because, yeah, I'm just working through it. And I decided that I'm going to knit each one until the yarn is used up. So that is that. So I got like 1, 2, and then I think there's 4 used up so far. 2 mohair and 2 fingering. This one here belongs to a little mini skein set that I won in a giveaway. So I'm not counting that as done until all 4 are used up. But very, very addictive. I'm knitting it also, not as a wrap, but as like kind of a throw blanket. And I will be keeping this one. So it will be mine. I also have to try to sort through my fingering weight yarns to figure out what I'm going to use for my chicken, my emotional support chicken that I'm going to knit, which is going to be fun. So I worked on my northeasterly blanket this week, and I managed to finish off a ball yarn. A ball of scrappy yarn, and that was the Desert Vista Dye Works in the Zombies Lake colorway. I knit socks out of these for myself and for my niece, and this is what was left over. Ooh, that wind really picked up there. Yeah, I finished that one, and then I've started the next one. This one is going to be Turtle Pearl Yarns. Did I mention who this was by? This is a scrappy blanket by Skananigans. This one is also going to be mine. So I do have one that I think I'm going to give away. But anyway, because there's only so many scrappy blankets you can keep, am I right? And I have like that one, this one right here. Although it's more the cat's blanket now. So yeah, this one is going to be mine. No animals are getting it. Anyway, moving on. So last week I talked about my scrappy knitting goals, and I had 2 left that I was hoping to complete by the end of February. So that was one of them, the Trifle Wrap, which was supposed to be cast on, and that one really took off. And then the other last goal that I had to complete was to lay out my blanket squares for my barn raising quilt. And I only just did that this morning, but it's done, it's checked off. It counts, even though it was like into February. And I will put that little clip in the video at the end. So now that my month of scrappy knitting is done, that does not mean that I'm not going to still be scrappy knitting. I'm going to be doing all the scrappy knitting. But on January 31st, which was Wednesday, I went through my works in progress that have been languishing, and I picked out different ones, like whether I was going to finish or frog. So I will insert that video right here. Okay, so it's January 31st, which means that it's time to switch over to the next monthly theme. I really enjoyed my month of scrappy knitting. Scrappy knitting, of course, is going to continue into February. It's just, I like an overarching theme. That's just how I like to do things. Sometimes I need a little bit of guidance. Otherwise, I become really indecisive. So, for example, a couple of years ago, I had a hard time figuring out what sock yarns to use for socks throughout the year. So I went into my stash. I picked out the oldest sock yarn. I picked out 12 of the oldest sock yarn. And then I put them into a spreadsheet. And then I did a random number generator every month to see which sock yarn I was going to use, because otherwise, totally indecisive. So assigning themes to each month just narrows down what I'm gonna knit, and I keep it within like what I'm in the mood to knit, and it just makes my life so much easier. I was definitely in the mood to do scrappy knitting last month, and then now I'm doing like the natural progression. So March is Malibo March, and generally what people participating in Malibo March do is clear off their needles. Malibo March is a knit along in Ravelry where you basically knit with Malibo and share your projects in the Ravelry group, and it's super fun, and I've been doing it for several years now. But anyway, so what we normally do is we try to clear off our needles in preparation for casting on Malibo March projects. So I am going to go through my whips. I did this, I can't remember, I think it was like April or May or something like that. It was this number of months ago. And I know what's here. I just have to, because I do keep good track of my projects in Ravelry, except this one I noticed today did not have a project page, so I made one. And I missed a pair of socks, my Halloween socks, but normally I'm pretty good at keeping my projects in Ravelry. But anyway, we'll start with this one. This, I mentioned this in previous videos. This is a jelly roll blanket, and I'm using the yarn that I learned to knit with. So when I was learning to knit, my professor taught me how to knit like years after I graduated from university. And she had a fee, and then she went and purchased needles and the yarn, and this was the yarn she picked because I said I like blues and greens. And this is Loops and Threads Charisma. The actual ball yarn that I used is long gone. I used it for, I think, a dice pouch or something for my nephew, and used up the rest somehow. And yeah, so I purchased more. And then, so this is the first strip, and I had to look at how many I have, how many balls that I have, and how to break that down into different strips. So I had to knit the first strip, and then now this project can go back to my parents' house because my scale is here. I had to weigh the second ball of yarn to make sure that I was knitting the right amount of yarn. The join is like right here. It's like 1.25 balls. So I had to measure it out. And yeah, so this is the size of each strip. So now this yarn and this project can go back to my parents' house where it'll be my knitting for there when I want to knit on something mindless, or if I forget to bring a project, God forbid. Yeah, so that is where this is going. So this will be returning to the regular rotation. It hasn't been in a rotation since I started Christmas knitting, probably back in October or something like that. I'd have to go back to my videos and see what I was doing. But anyway, so that is going back into rotation. This one, like, I know what's in here, but I don't know which bag each project is in, so it's gonna be a surprise. Okay. Yeah, so I deleted this one, I know, from my Ravelry project. I can't remember the name of the pattern, but it is a hat that I was knitting for my friend, and I just wasn't picking it up and working on it. So I am going to frog this, and I'm going to change the pattern. I'm going to knit a Glenfiddich by Thea Coleman. That's like one of my absolute favorite. That one and Oban, they're both her patterns, or Oban. I don't know how we pronounce it here. It's Scottish place names are copied over here because we have so many Scottish settlers, yours truly's family included. And yeah, I'm not sure. It's Oban anyway, and then Glenfiddich. And yeah, so Glenfiddich is the one I'm choosing for this, but those are my two favorite hat patterns. I've knit them as gifts different times. You know, I never knit one for myself though. That's weird. I probably should, but anyway, maybe that'll be a Malibo March project. I'm already getting ideas. So this is getting frogged and then reknit as something else. A little cameo by Maisie. I figured one of them would show up at some point. Okay, so this one. Okay, so this is the Sophia scarf, not the Sophie, the Sophia, S-O-F-I-A. I can't remember the name of the designer, but it will be in the down bar in the description box. It's similar, but different. This yarn has been in my stash forever. It is Zelana Kiwi. I purchased it at Bedeck Yarns like 2012 or yeah, somewhere around there. Anyway, it's part possum and it is lovely. I am going to continue knitting it, but I need to knit it at home for the same reason as the first project, the chunky jelly roll, because I have 3 balls of yarn. And with this project, you knit until you're an increase until you're at your middle, and then you start decreasing. So I'm going to knit until I have 1.5 of these done. And it has to be weighed, so I have to do it at home. And then when that's done, this one can go to my parents' house and be that knitting, that nice mindless knitting that I need there. So this is going back into rotation here at home, and then it's gonna go to my parents. Oh, Maisie is chilling. Okay, so back into rotation. This one, okay, yeah, this is that The Empire Strikes Back? Maybe? Galaxy Far, Far Away is what it is. And it was from Tanis Gray's book of Star Wars knitting patterns. And this one is going back in the rotation, and I'm making it a priority one. So I want to finish it this month. So I only have the cuff done. I have a ton of color work I have to do yet, but that's fine. And I'm knitting it out of Jameson Spindrift. That's that color. And then I can't remember what's this one, Ivory, and this is Titanic. So yeah, I got this at Having Yarn in Mahone Bay, Nova Scotia before it closed. I'm so sad that it closed because that was where I got my Jameson. But anyway. There will be other places. There is the internet. I'm pretty sure there's a yarn shop in New Brunswick as well, so I will scope that out when I'm ready to purchase some Jameson. But yeah, this one is absolutely going into high priority rotation. Piper is, I think, rolling her food ball around. I don't have any food in it though. Maybe I'll have to go put some in for her. I don't think this will take long. Okay, what is this? I think yeah, so this isn't even cast on yet. This is gonna be a vest for my mother, so that can go over there. This one, yes, okay. This is a Stephen West shawl pattern that I cast on, not this past Christmas Eve, but the Christmas Eve before that. And it's out of Cozy Posy yarn. Isn't it pretty? And it just, I got this far and it got neglected. So this one is going into high priority rotation. I have to check and see what this one is called. Let me see. Mosaic Musings. Yeah, I remember going and getting the yarn specifically for this project at Tracy's Rolling Yarn Shop. And yeah, I had to get 3 balls of Richard DeVries Pepino and then the Cozy Posy. This is the Richard DeVries Pepino. And yeah, the Cozy Posy. So this is going back into rotation. High priority with the mitts. Okay. This has been on my needles forever, and I really need to finish it because I want the finished project. This is an Even Star shawl. It is a circular shawl that is going to have beading, and I absolutely love it. This is going back into rotation, not high priority. I have to figure out where I'm at, and once I get rolling with that, this will be something that I knit on when I just want to have something to concentrate on, and I'll just have something that I've seen 100 times on in the background on the TV. Like that's like a Disney Plus kind of evening where I watch like all the cartoons. Oh, there's that row counter. I was wondering where that went. So I guess I know which row I'm on. Thank you, past me. But yeah, this is the Even Star shawl. Trying to remember who it's by. And this yarn is Woolmiza. It's a lace weight. So yeah, and I love the color. I'm big for blue, so you know. So that's going back into rotation, but not with a priority to finish kind of thing. So that is that one. This, I don't know. Oh yeah, okay. So this is the Viajante, or Via, I don't know if the J is a Y sound, Viajante or something, by Martina Ben anyway. This will be frogged. I've just kind of changed my aesthetic a bit since I started knitting, and I'm not huge on knitting lace weight stuff lately. So I think what's probably going to happen with this yarn is that I'm going to knit it held double into a different kind of project. So yeah, this one is a frog. And I might have already removed the project from my Ravelry page. I can't remember. Ginny wants to join the party. She's probably going to jump in that basket. Did I show the basket? Here it is. Oh, and it's almost empty now. Okay, so this one, I know exactly what this is. This is my little gnome guy. No matter what gnome and snowman. I finished the snowman and then I didn't finish the gnome during Advent. It was an Advent knit by Sarah of Imagined Landscapes. So I have these pieces. I have since seen the gnome, and it is very cute, and this is going to be a high priority finish, so I might actually start working on this one first, finish it because it won't take me very long, and then get cracking on the mitts and the shawls, but mostly the mitts and the mosaic musings shawl. So this one, high priority, finish this month or within the week. And there's one more. Okay, so this was Meadow Sweet, Meadow something. I'm gonna put it down here. And this yarn is was a handmaiden. There's camel in it. I'll put that here too. And it was the Celtic Colors colorway, made for Bedeck Yarns. And I actually had a mistake and I couldn't figure out where I was. So I wasn't that far gone in the shawl, so I frogged it. Now I think I want to do a different shawl with this yarn. I think I'm going to do a birch. I first learned about the birch from Stephanie Pearl McPhee a number of years ago, and I made 2 of them as gifts, but I've never knit one for myself. So I've decided that this gorgeous silky looking camel and obviously silk yarn, I think there's more stuff in it than that, is going to be a birch for me, because it's all leaves and these are like leaf colors in the fall. So yeah, that's what's gonna happen with that one. Now am I gonna make it high priority? No. Down the road I'm thinking I might do a month of lace knitting. Mostly held double though, just to try to knit it up, because I've been neglecting my poor lace knitting. And no doubt when I come around to that, the Even Star will still be on the needles, so that will probably have its big moment in the sun during that month. I don't know what month it'll be. I have to wait and see what kind of mood I'm in. So it's pointless for me to plan ahead all of the months with a theme, because I'm probably not going to stick to it, because I knit whatever I'm in the mood to knit. And that's just how it is, and that's how it needs to be, because in this house we knit for pleasure. So yeah, anyway, Maisie has kind of chilled out. Piper's over there chewing on her antler. Ginny is wreaking havoc somewhere in the house. I know she's not asleep, because she just woke up. So anyway, I'm gonna put it back to the regular video. Okay, so I think I have that like kind of figured out. I forgot to mention that I also wanted to do my non-knitting works in progress that have been languishing. I don't know if this one counts. Where is it? Here it is. So this is a rug hooking kit, a beginner kit that I got as part of my birthday yarn crawl last year. I got it at Deanne Fitzpatrick Studio, and I did pull everything out and kind of start it. All the yarns that I started with are kind of pulled together, pulled apart. I mean, some of the ones that I started working with, the black I started working with. But, oh, and I put it in the loop. Oh yeah, so here, yeah, there it is with a strand of yarn. So I'm going to count this as a whip, and I'd really like to get going on it and finish it. This is my first ever rug hooking project, so it's a little tricky. I have to like kind of alter the way my hands do like yarn memory and stuff. Yarn memory, movement memory, muscle memory. There we go, muscle memory. And try to get that going. So I'm counting that as a whip. I don't know, I think I might do like stitching Saturday, or do like 15 minutes a day or something, because I also have a cross stitch project that I want to finish. And here it is. So this, oh, it goes like that. This cross stitch is of Mos Eisley from Star Wars, and it says, "Bless this wretched hive of scum and villainy." And I absolutely Love it, and I really want to finish it. It has been on the needles. Oop, there's the hoop. Do I have two? Yeah, so this is what it's going to look like. And I don't know why I haven't worked on it for a while, because I actually like cross stitching. So why, I think it was just an out of sight, out of mind situation. So yeah, really want to finish that one and get it like framed and on the wall and stuff, because it's super fun. Little play on Bless This House, but I'll probably put it like right here or something. The only thing about this room is that the light fades things, so I don't like to have things that I truly love to be overly too exposed. But anyway, what else? So I think that is pretty much it, but yeah, I'm just gonna keep hunkering down for the day, pick at little chores, and mostly knit. I am going to tackle my poor little gnome. My little snowman guy needs his buddy, so I'm gonna work on that today. He's in here, so I think that'll be the first project that I try to finish for my WIPs month of works in progress. And I will probably work on my love note, because it'd be super nice to get that sleeve finished. So yeah, that's what's on the go for the rest of the day. If you are in Nova Scotia, I hope you're handling the snow well, and that's, if you heard that, that's how Piper feels about it. Anyway, take care, and I will see you next week. Bye.